Hello, everybody. FAI here, or I here, and welcome back to another FAI or Accureye talk show, and continuing our ultimate guide on everything on every character for Apex Legends. Now, this is part 2, of course, of possibly a 3-part, but most likely only a 2-part video. And today we'll be talking about all of the weapons that Claustic can use. Now, we've already talked about Claustic, so if you've not already watched that video, I would highly suggest you watch that video to learn more about Claustic, his matchups and stuff, and all those other little details. But today, let's talk about the weapons. And of course, this might be a very, very quick video, because in general, Claustic really only has a few weapons that he specializes in, and that he would be technically good in, or good with. So, I mean, of course, with that having been said, there's only a few weapons that I can, of course, recommend for Claustic, besides maybe AR weapons. Now, as far as Claustic weapons go, I mean, ARs are essentially a very good weapon for Claustic in medium to long range situations. Or even in medium to short range situations, ARs are going to prove to be very useful for Claustic. Now, on the other hand, of course, when it comes down to utilizing his other weapons, you could either go for a shotgun, or you could go for, of course, a submachine gun. Shotguns and submachine guns are both very good for Claustic. And essentially, they are very good to help Claustic continue to survive in general. You're going to see a lot of success with Claustic if you are using like submachine guns or or shotguns, because again, the close range damage, especially when you consider his fortified tech or his fortified perk, really do make him essentially a good character to kind of utilize the of course, advantage of the, shotguns and stuff. So I would highly recommend that, if you're considering anything, use submachine guns or shotguns for, essentially for, Claustic. The PK, the EVA 8, all those weapons are very essentially good for Claustic. And, of course, they, in general, give Claustic a chance to realistically have a decent, chance at, winning overall. So, I mean, like I said, that's kind of, in my opinion, the best way and the best stuff to utilize for Claustic. It's probably one of the best ways to gain Claustic and have him, realistically, be successful for, say, because, I mean, again, like as it is, Claustic is very essentially a, frontline tank type character. Now, I mean, of course, like it is, if you haven't already realized it because you haven't played Overwatch, or you haven't played, something like CSGO or PUBG for a long time, then obviously, you may not recognize that that there are some differences there are some Overwatch elements in the game. But yeah, with that having been said, I mean, obviously, as it stands, there are a lot of things that, Claustic is a very minimalistic character that can be used in, situations of long range. Like, his long range situations seem a lot more unlikely compared to someone like Rafe, who we will talk about eventually in a of course future video, and talks about this video. As it is, Rafe is one of my main characters. She is kind of my main, besides maybe Lifeline. But again, both Lifeline and Rafe aren't too different except for in their abilities. Anyway, we'll talk about the differences, and we'll talk about Rafe later on, and why she kind of is a specialty for me. But yeah, with that being said, I mean, this is just my short talk video about all the weapons. I mean, as far as weapons go, for Claustic, you'll want to utilize the Prowler if you can find it. You'll want to use the Alternator if you can find it. You'll want to use the RE45 if you can find it. The P2020 would be a nice weapon to use for Claustic if you can find it. Another nice weapon that you could use for Claustic is if you, of course, found the Peacekeeper, the EVA 8, the Mozambique. I mean, those are all decent weapons for Claustic when it comes to his close range arsenal. So, again, I'm going to go over it again. For his close range arsenal, you want to try to either find a PK if you can help it. I mean, the Peacekeeper would be the best weapon for Claustic going forward in the long run. You know, if you can find an R99 like I did in this video here, then, you know, utilize the R99 because the R99 is probably a really good close range weapon for Claustic. You know, if you can get the, of course, the, what's it called? The, the EVA 8, the Peacekeeper, like I said again, the Mozambique, you know, the P2020, even the Alternator would be a decent enough weapon for Claustic to realistically run with for his abilities. As for long range or medium to long range weapons, his arsenal should be something like, for instance, the Havoc, the R301, the Hemlock, the Flatline, the what's it called? The L-Star would be a great weapon for his medium to long range arsenal. Because again, you know, you want to utilize that medium to long range if you can help it. If you can, you know, find a way to utilize the medium to long range that that of course Claustic has, then, you know, obviously, you know, it'll make it all that much better as far as, you know, generally speaking when it comes to just choosing your arsenal. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to leave this as a bit of a shorter video because, again, I don't see much use for, or much of a talk video on what else Claustic could use in general. But yeah, this has been the video. Of course, I will talk about each weapon and their advantages and stuff in a future series. So stay tuned for that. But with that being said, thank you everyone for joining me today. Thank you for watching this video. I know this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video than pretty much every other video I've done recently, but again, Claustic doesn't really have a whole lot to talk about when it comes to his arsenal and the weapons that he could potentially use. I mean, in general, Claustic really is a bit of a one-trick pony when it comes to his arsenal and his weapon usage. Should I say. But yeah, if you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you everybody for joining me today. Thank you for watching today. And yeah, like I said, if you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed. And yeah, I'm live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/FA_IEYE. And I'm live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for sure. But lately, I've also been live on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I'm usually live for about 4 to 5 hours most of the time. And, Wednesday and Saturday, I'm usually live for about 4 to 5 hours. Thursdays, I'm usually doing a bit of a shorter stream. And Monday and Tuesday, I'm usually live for 2 to 3 hours, depending on if I'm doing anything else during the day. But with that being said, thank you, everybody, for joining me today. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being here. And, yeah, until the next one, everybody, this is FAI, or I, signing out and saying, farewell, everyone.